Welcome to Ugly Truck. This morning we woke up and we said, hey, what would be more fun than putting an engine in a 2014 Chevy Cruze? It's Saturday, it's almost 90 degrees outside, so that should make it even better. It's going to be an interesting one, so hang on.
Met her at the station, let that train roll on by.
This is a 1.4 liter turbo Ecotec motor. It only has 80,000 miles on it, so this engine's a great example of a car that all of a sudden you start developing problems with it. Check engine light comes on. You run it to a parts store or something like that and it comes up with a bunch of engine codes. Well, you start putting all these parts in it that the trouble codes are leaning you towards, and it really doesn't have any of those problems. What this car has is a blown head gasket. At some point or another, the car overheated. It was taken to a shop at that time. They put a thermostat in it, a bunch of other stuff. It's had a water pump put in it and everything. And this has gone on for apparently over a year. But the real trouble with it was that at that time when it overheated, it either cracked the head or it blew a head gasket. So a computer cannot tell you that you have a blown head gasket, but it will tell you a bunch of other things that would lead you towards a few other parts. But throwing parts into this car would have never fixed it. I'm assuming that the cylinder's probably damaged from the amount of time that it's been run and having water run through it. So we're just going to go ahead and put an engine in it. So we started calling around and we managed to find an engine at a local salvage yard. It actually has less than 1,600 miles on it, so we were pretty lucky to find that. It's going to be a lot more cost effective for me to just put this engine in versus going through the trouble of tearing the cylinder head off of it and going through all the work that it's required to do that. So we're going to get going on it. I already drained the coolant and the oil from it, and already took the front wheels off of it, so I'm going to get started on it. Okay, at this point I got almost everything undone that I can do from the top. All the wiring harness that I can get a hold of from here. Everything else now is pretty much gonna have to come from the bottom, so I'm gonna raise it up and start undoing everything from below. This is kind of interesting. You can see the milky oil that's coming out of the intercooler tube. So it's from the water being ingested into the exhaust. So.
So normally the game plan on a front wheel drive car like this is to disconnect everything around the engine and transmission away from the body, and then we'll drop the car down so that this portion of the frame, the engine cradle, is supported on jack stands, and we'll remove these cradle bolts and actually lift the whole body of the car up off of the engine and transmission. But in this case, once we got into it, we realized how much room we actually had around the engine, and we were actually able to get it out through the top, which is super cool because we didn't have to mess with the steering and things like that. You also may have noticed that we lifted this out of here with tie straps. That's normally not how we go about it, just for safety issues, but because this engine is so small and so lightweight, we were able to do it safely. Each of these straps is rated for at least 300 pounds, and this whole engine, when the owner of the car brought it to us, we unloaded it by hand out of the back of his truck. So at this point, we're ready to go set this old motor down, grab the new one, and get it sitting back in there in the cradle where it belongs. Okay, so it is the moment of truth. We're gonna find out if we're gonna have a really good day or a really bad day. So let's fire this thing up.
That was fast. And then fuel pressure that quick. It sounds like an engine with 1,600 miles on it,
Yeah,
except for the squeaky belt.
we got a little
That'll go away.
belt squeak going on, but that'll kind of go away as it warms up.
Temperature still recorded. Alright, sure.
Let that train roll on by. Let that train roll on by. Let that train roll on by. I'm still the same old me, so let that train roll on by.
Okay, so we've got this thing wrapped up. We put probably 15 miles on it, no check engine lights, no codes, it runs great. The only issue that we ran into on the whole job was this little hose clamp right here. And when we went to rotate the crankshaft to put the torque converter bolts back in, it locked up. It wouldn't turn anymore. And so we actually ended up pulling the engine again, and we found this little hose clamp back here behind the flex plate. So really fortunate that we caught it at that point. Could have caused a lot of damage. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the little bell up at the top so you get notifications when we upload a new video. And I guess it's Frisbee time. So we're gonna go play Frisbee.
I'll pick up the pieces and try and get it right next time. I'll tear myself down and try to understand